Hi friends, you are
back once again with the Renegade Master.
And welcome back to No Straight Answers, the LGBT plus podcast where I have a good old therapeutic chat with members of the community. These are recorded live over on twitch.tv/Renegade Master, and if you want to see my guests' gorgeous wee faces, the video versions eventually go up on youtube.com/Renegade Master. Today's guest is the remarkable MJPlayGames, which I immediately mispronounce as MJPlaysGames. It's a thing, we'll get into it. Actor, Twitch streamer, goddess. MJ's so funny and a joy to talk to. I absolutely love her. We talk about brains that get stuck on default settings, and we learn the Scottish origins of At It. MJ teaches me a new name for the TERFs. It's way better. Just for the record, later on, my brain is going to struggle to reach for the name of a drag king and somehow comes up with the name Langdon Harden. I meant, of course, the incredible Landon Cider, which is a much funnier name and makes more sense. Enjoy this one. I'm Jen. I am a cis queer woman. And with me today is the quite beautiful and outstanding and wonderful and amazing MJ Plays Games.
Hi, I'm here.
Hello, how are you doing?
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. Aside from the testicle issues, which nobody saw anything, okay? Nobody saw anything.
Saw them. It's your fault anyway for complimenting me too much. I'm not gonna lie.
Husband says, keep moving, wife.
Yeah. I'm here. Hi everyone. I'm here.
We could do the Iceland dance. That would be something.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see it so that I can see you.
Okay.
At the same time.
Okay.
At the minute, what I can see is my face, which nobody wants that. There we go. I can see you. Right, let's do it. Come
I
on.
like your face. Oh, MJ's a bit quiet. Hold on. Say something.
Hi, am I a little bit quiet?
There we go.
I can keep talking until
Sorry, I fixed it.
like a good level.
I fixed it. I always forget to put the chat up to the max because I'm a genius. So do you want to tell us all a little bit about yourself, MJ?
Sure, I'd love to.
Other than
hi,
you're a
Jen.
goddess, obviously.
You're at it. You are literally at it, as we would say.
What would you say?
Hello. At it. Do you say that? Is that a Welsh thing? Is that a Scottish thing?
At it.
Yeah, if you're at it, you're at it.
What does that mean?
Like you're misbehaving. You're being naughty. You're pulling my leg. You're
I'm
at
not
it.
pulling it. I am the most honest person on Twitch. We know this.
You're at it. You're
I'm
at
at
it.
it.
You're totally at it. Yeah. You take the piss. You're being cheeky. That's it. Maybe it's a I don't know. Maybe it's a Glasgow thing. I can't tell you where it's from specifically. I have to be honest.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Sorry.
Tell you.
Sorry. Go on. Tell us about yourself.
Hi. My name is MJ. I am an actor and a variety streamer. And I mostly do, in the before times, I mostly did the theatre and did a little bit of telly, and now I do some voice work, and now I have the wonderful pleasure and privilege of streaming on Twitch and making lots of beautiful, beautiful new friends this last year. When did I start streaming? I started streaming in September, and I only started watching Twitch like in, I want to say July, I think. So it's not even been a year.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
I think my first Twitch stream ever was Mark Watson used to do his like marathon comedy streams, and he's friends with like my comedy sister. So she was getting involved, but because COVID had just hit, they decided to do that year's online. So they did the whole thing on Twitch, and it was like I signed up, I had a totally different username, and then I was like, oh, I might start streaming. So then I changed my name to Jen Smith Comedy because that's what I was using to do stand-up in the before times. And then it was like when I started streaming properly, I was like, no, I need a cool name, man. I need like a fun name. It can't just be me.
Name like Renegade Master.
I need a name that makes people think of a song that I didn't write.
But puns, right? We need the pun game.
Oh, I love a pun.
Pun game got to be strong. It's much better than being called MJPlayGames. Which the amount of times I've had somebody come in and be like, hi, we're here in a bot trade. And I'm like, I know exactly what you did. Did you type in MJ Plays Games? Yes, we did. Thanks. Literally was pissed when I wrote my username out. And also, it's just so beige. Has there ever been a beiger username than MJ Play Games? Like, the macaroni cheese.
It's what it says on the tin. You can't argue that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think I might change it at some point.
What do you think you'd go to?
I quite like the idea of anti-MJ, like
anti-MJ.
I quite like. I've not decided yet. Maybe or heckin' MJ. Apparently, I say heckin' a lot. I hadn't noticed that yet.
You do say hecking a lot. You do say hecking a lot.
Heckin' MJ, anti-MJ. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
MJ bosses games, says Matt.
Matt, you cutie pie. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But thank you for that. So yeah, that's me. That's who I am. Hello.
Okay, so let's start on the fun stuff then, but just to get us into it. I want to know how you feel about the Iceland Eurovision entry and the fact that they brought a pan flag to like the biggest stadium in the world.
I mean, like, there's not really, you can't get a gayer event than the Eurovision, can you really? So the fact that we're all sitting going, oh my, like, it's amazing. Also, I'm like, Eurovision maybe has to be better. Do you know what I mean? In the first place, if we're all sitting going, that was, and like, it was amazing. That was amazing. We had friends around, actually. We had new friends over for it. So like, I don't think I sussed at the time. I think I sussed a bit later. And then I was like, oh my God, yes! Like, yeah, Iceland, we love you. But like, it should just be, there should be fucking pride flags everywhere on that stage. Do you know what I mean? And maybe some of the countries just shouldn't be there.
Oh, okay. No, that's actually fair. I mean, I was talking to Quoty the other week, and like she said something I think was important, which was nobody really addressed the fact that it was a pan flag. So you'll probably have a bunch of the homophobes won't know what that flag was. But I had Darnit Dibble in my house when we saw that happen, and I literally shoved him, and I was going, oh my God, is that the pan flag?
Get your fucking frying pans out the cupboard. Like, yes!
Yes! Fucking love Eurovision, it's the best!
It is great. And the worst part of Eurovision is whenever the heteros show up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I say this every year, but anytime the heteros show up to Eurovision is when you go, oh, for the love of God. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love the Polish milkmaids. I love them.
Yes.
I love them dearly. But we all know the one lassie I'm talking about. Literally, I'm not going to do it.
No.
But you're all just like, well, okay.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, there's one girl who was making love to the camera with that milk stick.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm with you. A milk stick.
The milk stick, which is fine. We're into, very sex positive, but like sometimes just very hetero people clearly are there, and it's like, wow, you've missed what the Eurovision is all about. Which is gayness is what it's all about. Gayness and music and coming together.
Look at the winners though from this Eurovision. Two lads having a nice snog on the way to the stage.
They were great.
I was all about that. Like, don't get me wrong, Iceland will forever be number one in my heart, but I am totally down for two boys showing a bit of affection on the way to the stage and being happy with each other.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women in particular, a lot of straight women probably had some confusing feelings about their bassist. Yeah,
they probably thought they were really good friends. Do you know what I mean? Look how close those men are.
Oh, isn't
Aren't
that
they
nice?
Very good friends?
Just good pals, right?
Two men chilling on the Eurovision stage. Do you know what I mean?
I reckon their bassist,
not gay.
I reckon their bassist will do for a lot of straight women this Eurovision what Kate McKinnon did for women in Ghostbusters 2016.
It's hilarious. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mate. If you want to talk fucking catalysts, I was sat in that cinema with my now ex-husband watching that screen going, I would marry her. I'm definitely straight, I'm sure of it, but I would marry that lady.
Almost entirely convinced I'm straight.
Definitely straight, right?
Yeah,
all straight women feel like that.
Well, she is very hot. There was also, I've not seen Army of the Dead, but all the pictures I've seen of Tig Notaro in Army of the Dead, I feel like might be doing that for people as well. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Has it got queer content in it?
I haven't seen it. I have no idea, but basically, you'll know more about this than me.
I will.
There is a horrible comedian called, I want to say Chris D'Elia, who's a wrong'un. I'll not get into it.
Yeah, he is a wrong'un.
but he'd already filmed all his scenes in Army of the Dead. So they took him out digitally and replaced him with Tig Notaro.
No! That's the
but she
best!
Just looks fucking great. She looks like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. She's just like in a boiler suit with a big fucking cigar and aviators. She's like she looks fucking magic. So I think she might also become a catalyst for
I didn't know they'd done that. That's incredible.
Yeah, I've not seen it myself, as I say, but I am. I might watch it just for that content. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's my favourite thing. That's my favourite thing today.
Pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good. So, I think for me, because obviously I didn't come out until quite late, I get a lot of. I've been speaking to somebody about this recently, and I feel like I got a lot of like cis-het guilt. So, like, I passed for far too long, and it makes me uncomfortable. To the point that when I finally sussed it out, and it's taken 4 years. I'm relatively sure it's pan, right? I'm almost convinced it's pan. But it's taken like 4 years of not knowing what the label was to get to, oh, it's probably definitely pan. And I think because I passed for so long, there's so much of that I feel really guilty about it. Do you ever feel that way?
I don't know if I would describe it as. I completely get what you're saying. I completely get it. I relate to it. I don't know if I would describe it as guilt necessarily. I think for me it might be like taking up space, because I think as a woman, you're kind of a lot of the time encouraged not to take up a lot of space, just in general. And I think I've never felt different. I fucking felt different. Of course I have. But like me being bi has never felt different. Do you know what I mean? I've never felt weird because of that. I think I was lucky with the friends that I had in high school. And I think I was lucky with the friends I had in college, and the fact that I trained to be an actor, and that I've been surrounded by LGBT people my whole life. My whole life. But like knowingly being out since high school.
Yeah.
So I've never really had that guilt, but there has been that thing about like not wanting people to think that you're joking, especially because I've been with my husband for 15 years.
Yeah.
Since I was 17. So it's like you don't want people to be thinking like you're just doing it for attention. I think that's the thing that I think people will think, you're just doing it for the attention. Do you know what I mean? Like there's been a cultural Catholic and there's been a practicing Catholic. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like yeah, cultural bisexual, yeah, practicing bisexual.
Cultural bisexual.
Like I feel like people are going to be like, yeah, do you know? And like I always feel like I always used to say, and I still say this, I don't want to be a gay tourist. Like I'm always kind of very aware if I'm going to a gay bar, it's like, well, is this necessarily the space for me? Because I've never necessarily felt unsafe. And I think for a lot of people, gay bars are like places of safety and things like that, and feeling like in the community. So it's a funny one. I totally get what you're saying. And yes, I definitely have some sort of mild baggage about it. I don't know if I would describe it as guilt. But I mean, yeah.
What you're saying though has 100% resonated with me. Because I mean, the thing about not taking up space, 100%, absolutely with you on that. And just this thing about I see what you mean in terms of if you've never, I mean, maybe that's where my guilt is coming from, because I've never been really made to feel othered, because I didn't know that I wasn't straight for the longest time. I've always just been a cishet, inverted commas, cishet. So it's just like, I think, yeah, there's that aspect of, I don't want to be a bad gay. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like now, for example, like I've tried dating women since I've been not straight, presumably pan. And because none of those have panned out, I find myself now, if I'm attracted to men, I get really disappointed in myself.
I mean, they do be handsome though, Jen. Like,
they do be handsome
sometimes. Do you know what I mean? This is what I always say, because it's so, we're all always like women, but men do be handsome though.
I know, right?
They do. I know. Just, yeah, I think and it's a really, and you don't want people to think that, oh yeah, you're, because like when I was being promiscuous for like that 1 6-month period when I was 15, and it was literally just kissing people at parties. But I've been in a really
promiscuous.
You know what I mean? When I was being wanton in my wild youth days. like the thing was, it was people always thought you were doing it for the boys.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That was the thing about being 15-year-olds and being bi, was like if you were at a party, you were having a wee kiss, then they'd be like, the boys would be like, right boys, there's two girls kissing, let's go and seat it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of that hanging over it. It was like, oh, people will think you're just doing it to get a boyfriend, or you're just doing it to seem edgy, or you're just doing it to be cool and show how sexy you are.
I feel like there was so much of that in terms of it being like hypersexualized and like performative almost. So it was like if you were a girl and you were into other girls, you weren't really into girls. Girls just kiss each other. That's what they do. Do they fuck? No, they don't. Not in my experience.
Nope.
They kiss each other when they're into women. Yes. Absolutely. Then they kiss. But Jesus, it's like you're so right in terms of if you were ever with your mate or whatever, or like holding hands or linking arms and stuff. It's like, oh, you're gonna kiss for us. You're gonna give us a kiss. It's like, yeah. It's not really for you, my love.
Yeah, and it's either that or they just think that you're pals. Do you know what I mean? Like even now, if when people see like two women out in a restaurant, and if say they're of like a certain age or something, people will just be like, oh, they're friends. Do you know what I mean? Those nice friends. But it's like, maybe they're on a date because they're gay or bisexual or queer or pansexual. But they'll be like, no, very good friends, potentially sisters even. Do you know?
Sisters. The sisters is huge, isn't it?
We're just so nosy, I think, about other people, and there's a lot of my pal Diet Punk put it really well, I think, when he talked about default settings, which I love.
What's the default settings?
Just like, it's the default settings. If you're straight, if you're cis, that's the default settings, and it's even the default settings in your brain thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's like I have it myself as well. It's like that internalized thing where when somebody comes into chat or something, and I hate it, but I have to be honest, I do it. I assume, unless it's a really gendered name, I just assume everyone is a man.
Okay.
Even though, hello? Do you know what I mean? Like, I am on the internet, but I just assume everybody's a man. I think we have a lot of kind of inbuilt things in here that we need to try and pull down.
I think, there's a real thing about, especially with pronouns and things in writing, I find particularly, the default is just to assume he, him all the time. Yeah. Which is why, like, I'm trying to reprogram myself in terms of if I don't know anybody, I just refer to they, them until I'm told otherwise.
Yeah.
Because it happened to me once. I went to, it was a trans awareness comedy night that I performed at. Again, in the before times when things went on fire. When I got there, I was greeted by a trans man who referred to me as they, them, until I corrected them otherwise. And it was like, do you know what? In terms of that being the default thing, I think that's actually really lovely. Don't make an assumption. Because you don't know what my pronouns are. You've never met me before, so you might as well just default to that, and then I can tell you if I prefer something else. Yeah,
exactly. And I think there's a lot of people that have like they, them in their profile for their pronouns, and it's not necessarily that they're gender fluid or non-binary. It's just that they're like, if you call me they, them, that's fine.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite nice as well.
I think it's nice, isn't it?
Because again, it's all about not having to out people, really, isn't it? That we're all doing this.
Yeah.
So if you're using they, them, then it means you're not having to out somebody as being gender fluid or non-binary. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think, as a very cis woman, anyway.
That is my opinion as a cis lady.
I can give you more.
I do remember a thing going around, I think it was a couple of years ago, where people did start putting pronouns in bios. And the argument for it was always the fact that if everybody does it and it just becomes a normalized thing, then, as you say, you're not outing anybody. It's just, you're making it a normal thing that you do just ask for people's pronouns, and that's not a big deal. And what I find is it's quite handy, even just in terms of outing who's a massive transphobe, because they get really annoyed by it.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious how annoyed they get about it. There was somebody on Twitter had, I can't remember exactly who it was, but they'd replied to somebody saying, "Oh, knew exactly who you were the minute I saw the pronouns in your bio." Right? Classic fartery, right? And someone else just responded to them saying, "You've got pronouns in your bio," and they were like, "No, I don't." And they were like, "My is a pronoun." So then 2 minutes later, they were like saying, "My book is on sale at Amazon," right? 2 minutes later, you go on their profile and it just says book on sale on Amazon.
Oh, for God's sake.
I was like, how fragile are you that now you're like, fuck me, my is a pronoun.
Yeah, no pronouns, none. I will not have my.
No refer to self. Is self a pronoun? Refer to this. Is this a pronoun? Do you know what I mean? I was just like, life must be tiring for you. Is life not tiring? Are you not tired? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, the thing that really sticks with me is Linehan, transphobe in chief as he is, really, really just genuinely made me laugh because it was just at the time where you could tell he was too far gone and there was no saving him. And H-Bomber Guy was basically doing the trolling thing where he raised a shitload of money for mermaids just to spite Graham Linehan, and it was beautiful. But Linehan took a screenshot of H-Bomber Guy's profile, circled the bit that said he, him, and basically dragged him for it. He's like, well, of course you're a he, him, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, firstly, it's not of course, because you've got no idea what his gender is at all. You've made an assumption. And then on top of that, you've gone to the effort to go and screenshot his profile, gone to the effort to edit it, to put a circle around it, and then just to roast him to your followers. And all he's done is put his pronouns in his bio.
He really, really upsets me. Just Graham Linehan, like
really,
like it's the fucking audacity. I mean, for many reasons, right? But it's the audacity to say that, and lots of, I call them farts, Jen. I hope that's okay.
That's more than fine with me, mate. You go ahead.
TERFs imply that the F in TERF stands for feminism, right? Or feminists, and they're not fucking
They are
feminists.
not fucking feminists. We can agree with that. They are not.
They're not. So FART stands for feminism appropriating radical transphobe, right? So FART. So
that's perfection, by the way.
It's great. But like a lot of times, and what he does specifically is that he says he's doing it to protect women.
Oh,
and I'm
I
just
know.
like, don't. Right, one, we don't fucking want you, we don't need you. And as we know, when he tried to get on fucking Mumsnet, do you know what I mean? Like, which I'm sure isn't, the most, like, sure there's quite a few farts on Mumsnet, not gonna lie, and they didn't fucking want him. But did
they also bin him?
They did bin him.
I didn't know they binned him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna stand Mumsnet or anything, but like...
No, but how far have you gone? Jesus Christ.
And so the point that he was there, what was he trying to do? Say that
protect women,
protect women, but also he was invading a woman's space, which is the thing that they always fucking say that trans women are trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a nonsense. Like, I was like, do you have no kind of self-reflection that you've sussed that you're literally doing the thing that you're saying that we should all be feeding?
I have 2 points on that. The first is, did you see the shit he pulled with her?
With her?
So there is a lesbian dating app. Lesbian, like it's for women with an X in it. So they're inclusive of women.
Oh yeah,
that's their whole deal. And if you're a woman, you're fine. You're on that app. He joined her as a cis man. And basically he joined it so that he could screenshot pictures of women that he didn't feel fit into his ideal standard of beauty, so that he could put on his blog and basically call all of them trans women, regardless of whether they were or not, and how outrageous it was that they were on this app for women. And it was like, Graham, do you see what you're doing, my dude? Do you see what's happened there? You are a cis man on a woman's app. Maybe fuck off and leave us to it.
Maybe fuck off, Graham.
Maybe fuck off.
Maybe just off you fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking... And he's had... And I'm not saying it's all down to him. There's been a lot... I don't know who it's down to. I don't know how this has started, considering fucking trans people have been here forever. So I don't... I couldn't trace it back. It's not new. I couldn't trace it back. I don't know enough about it, right? But it's like, I know people who... I've got some friends who have been in gay bars recently, and like... And just bars in general, where they have, can I just say cis women, not that it fucking matters, but cis women who have had like their trousers pulled by people going saying, we think you're trans, basically. And the thing that's like, if you're trying to, imagine for a minute that they were trying to protect cis women, which they're fucking not, but imagine for a minute that that's what they were trying to do. You're putting them more in danger, because then how can you tell? Because there's plenty of cis women that don't want to prescribe to feminine beauty standards.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are you going to do? Are you going to make them have to prove themselves? Are you literally going to do fucking like ISIS level techniques of making people show their genitals so that you can prove?
Mm.
And then what does it become? Well, actually,
No, which might not mean anything anyway.
Feminine. Well, no, but that's exactly.
You know,
but like, do you know what I mean? It's just fucking.
But so many queer women do not ascribe to society's thing of beauty anyway, because that's the whole point. We don't want to be in that societal standard. Like, quite infamously, there was a cis woman with cancer who had short hair who got basically abused in a toilet. Like, they filmed it on the basis that she was getting shouted at, going, "Oh my God, we think that you're a trans woman." And it's like, the only way for me to prove this to you is to show you my genitals, and that's not going to happen because you're not the fucking toilet police.
Also, why the fuck is everyone so obsessed with genitals?
I know, right? Who gives a shit?
Fucking get so rude. So rude.
The other point I wanted to make on Linehan, because it was like, for a minute, I forgot what it was. But it was, aside from the her thing, the other thing he's done literally in like the last fortnight, and it was incredible, is there is a video on Twitter where he talks about a friend of his who is an Irish writer. And he's like, oh, this, he's been cancelled, and he doesn't know he's been cancelled because he's been standing up for women's rights. And they were like, he's lost family over it. He's lost friends over it. He'll never work again, and blah, blah, blah. And it was like the entire video, you're sat there going, you're literally describing yourself. How can you have so little self-reflection to not know that you're literally describing you?
Yeah.
You fucked it, mate. You have fucked it. You've lost everyone you ever cared about, and this is why. Maybe stop being a prick.
Fucking man. I don't know what you do. Him and J.K. Rowling, get in the sea. Get in the sea.
Can people stop, like, ruining their bodies of work, please? That would be pretty cool.
Yep. I'd love that.
I'd love
that for a minute. I'd love it.
I've got a fucking Gryffindor mug in my cupboard that someone bought me for Christmas like 3 years ago, which will never be touched again because I look at it and just think, oh, no, you're a monster.
Yeah. I mean, I was the biggest Harry Potter fan. I have 4 books signed.
Mate.
I got every single one on launch day, and from The Prisoner of Azkaban onward, I got every single one at midnight. And I met her.
Jesus.
Yeah, like one of my books actually says to MJ, I love the jacket, J.K. Rowling. There's it is. No, I feel like you might ask me about it, so I'm not going to say anything about it yet.
Go for it. This is led by you. It's fine.
Is this art? Me and husband have been talking about this as well. It's this art and the artist thing, and I am, or have always been, I guess, very, very, very felt very strongly that whilst the artist is alive, you cannot separate the art from the artist.
Okay.
You can't do it if they're still profiting off it in any way.
Mm.
And I've always felt that. And like, you know, even like I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Again, same thing happened with Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
And so now I will continue to watch them on DVD, but I won't stream them. I won't buy any more merchandise because he'll profit off it. Same with Harry Potter. You know, if I want to, I will watch the Harry Potter DVDs that I have. I can read the books because I can do that. I already have them.
Mm.
But I won't buy anything else that's I will not be going to see Fantastic Beasts. I will not be playing Hogwarts game Legacy, whatever it's called, much as, you know, my little Harry Potter heart would love it. I won't be doing it. But there was an interesting interview with Nick Cave, I want to say in The Guardian, Nick Cave of the Bad Seeds, where he's kind of talking about cancel culture and the art and the artist. And he says, now I'm not saying I agree with this, Jen, please, for the love of God, nobody think I'm agreeing with this. I just think it's interesting and worthy of discussion.
It's a discussion point. It's fine. It's caveated.
Yes,
move on.
It's caveated. And I think as an artist myself, and you as an artist yourself, do you know what I mean? His point is that these terrible people who make good art, it should be a cause for hope.
Mm.
In that, yes, they're a terrible person, but they've made this beautiful piece of art which has affected so many people and changed so many people, and that should be a cause for hope that they can change. Now that's beautiful,
but
I don't know if I agree with But it is beautiful, and I feel like
they have changed, but they've changed for the worst.
well, that's kind of the thing. And I feel like it's a really, I just don't know if I'm that good of a person, personally, to be able to do that. He seems like he's lived a hard life. Do you know what I mean? He's had really bad things happen to him, and I think for him to be able to do that, I think is an amazing thing. But like, I couldn't, in good conscience, go out and buy a movie that I knew Weinstein was going to profit from.
Yep.
Like, personally.
It's why I feel really, really sorry for the developers of that Harry Potter game, because they have tried to explicitly go, oh, she's got nothing to do with it, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but ultimately she will still profit off it. And I'm sorry for you, because I know that you've all put a shitload of work into it, and I'm sure you all really care about it. But I can't, in good conscience, give that woman any more money, because I've given her enough over my lifetime, and she just doesn't deserve the support, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you're right about, in terms of people being alive, I do think it makes a difference. So it's like I got challenged on this by Kate, in fairness, because RuPaul is also problematic, but somehow I'm able to separate him from Drag Race, even though it's got his name in the title, somehow, because I don't know why. It's like my one exception that I can. But, you know, Chris Brown, physically can't listen to that man's music because it makes me feel sick. I can't watch Johnny Depp in stuff because, you know, I know that's all divisive and all the rest of it, but when he showed up in Fantastic Beasts, for example, I didn't know he was in it, and he shows up near the end, and I was just like, oh well, that's completely ruined the movie for me. And then they were like, oh, we're doing a second one, and he's still in it, and I was like, well, I'm never ever going to see your second movie then, because
I mean,
I'm not going to support him.
Colin Farrell was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I was just raging when he showed up because I was like, oh, but why? Colin Farrell was so good.
Yeah, leave Colin in it. Colin's fine, and so far hasn't been cancelled. It's all right.
And Irish, can we have him, please? Like, come on. Yeah.
I'm going to read this from Husband, because apparently I think he's quoted the Nick Cave thing.
Yeah, he's quoted the end of the thing.
So it says that bad people make good art is a cause for hope. To be human is to transgress, of that we can be sure. Yet we all have the opportunity for redemption, to rise above the more lamentable parts of our nature, to do good in spite of ourselves, to make beauty from the unbeautiful, and to have the courage to present our better selves to the world. Once we awaken to this fact, we begin to see goodness everywhere, and this can go some way in setting right the current narrative that humans are shit and the world is fucked. I don't know if I agree with it.
I agree with the sentiment.
I agree with the sentiment
of it, in the way that, yes, people can and should be rehabilitated. But I think, what do you do when people consistently not listen?
Yes.
And what do you do when, like, I think there's a difference between somebody who's been a bit of a shit and somebody who has, like, with Graham Linehan, however the fuck is his name, I don't care. And like J.K. Rowling, like, I imagine, like, J.K. Rowling has come from a fucking hard life, right? A mega hard life. But she's now a very, very, very rich, very, very, very powerful woman. And is there anybody under trans people? Like, could she punch down any fucking further?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And I just think you have all this power available. If you were genuinely worried about something, you could be putting money into, I don't know, fucking research or something, instead of just braffing off on the internet about people who are more likely to experience, like, crime and violence and mental health problems. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, if you've been there, if you've experienced all these things, why are you making it harder for those people? And she doesn't seem to want to change, and Graham Linehan doesn't seem to want to change. And so I think the Nick Cave thing works if they're open, willing to change. Yeah. And I don't think everybody is.
No, and I think there's an aspect, you could make that argument about radicalisation as well, in that, like, Linehan, here's where he really disappointed me, because, like, the couple of years before he went down this road, he was doing decent things. Like, him and his ex-wife did this thing about how where they had really, really wanted a baby. They were living in Britain at the time, but they said if we still lived in Ireland, basically the baby wasn't going to be viable outside of the womb. So they would have to have an abortion. And they were like, if we still lived in Ireland, we would have had to made that trip for a baby we really wanted, to abort that baby that we really wanted. And it would have been, would have added this extra layer of heartbreak that we didn't need at a time we were really vulnerable. So they were campaigning for the abortion laws in Ireland, and it was really, really heartfelt, and everything they did was just so powerful. I felt like that was fucking fighting for women. That was really important. And then it was literally like a year later where slowly but surely you could see him starting to fall off this cliff, where it was just like, well, trans women are predatory towards cis women then, aren't they? And it got worse and worse and worse. And you saw exactly the same thing happen with J.K. Rowling, where it was like she started off liking some dodgy posts, and then slowly it was starting to put a toe in the water about being a massive transphobe. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. And I think what happens is once they start going off that cliff, they have people that surround them that are all going, yeah, you're standing up for us. Thanks very much. All these like fellow transphobes, if you like. They find their own fucking community that just encourages them, and it just accelerates. It's like a fucking snowball down a hill. And at no point does anybody, like, people try and get through to them, but they just don't listen because they've got this entire crowd of people just going, oh, no, you're doing the right thing. It's all fine. It breaks my heart. I've got to be honest. It absolutely kills me.
It's you're totally right. It's enablers, isn't it? Mm. It's enablers the whole way. That's how people...
You literally used to see Linehan's brother-in-law used to tweet him and basically tend to knock it off. You could see there were fractions in that family to start with because people could see what was happening to him, try to get through to him, and he just wasn't it. So in terms of being capable of change, he just wasn't willing to listen, and he wasn't willing to change his stance on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do you ever worry that you're really stubborn about things? I worry that I'm very stubborn. Now, there's certain things that, like, I know I'm not wrong on. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't care, no matter what anybody says, I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong in being a supporter of trans rights. I know I'm not fucking wrong being, you know, a supporter of the gays and the gay agenda, right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
the gay agenda. It's funny you should say that.
Oh, go on.
I have a gay agenda. Audio listeners won't be able to see this, but I do have a rainbow notebook that says a gay agenda.
Oh, I can see it. The gay agenda. I love it. I love it.
On Tuesdays, we discuss fashion.
And do crime.
And do crime.
I love it. I just worry, is there something else which I'm very stubborn about, which I'm very wrong about and can't see?
Go for it.
Because you do look at these people and you're just like, how can you not see? Mm.
In the face of all of this evidence and the fact that people are being targeted, how can you not reevaluate your own opinion?
Yeah. So I just worry. That's the only thing. But I guess that's because we're probably more self-aware anyway.
Yeah. It could be.
I don't know, Jen. I don't know.
I mean, it's been said before that I think there's also an aspect of these people don't know any queer people, and I think that doesn't help them. So that they're in an audience of exclusively cis-het people, and at no point do you see someone who's queer and go, oh, it's just another human being.
Yeah, it's ignorance, isn't it? And it's totally... And ignorance isn't necessarily your fault if you're ignorant through lack of experience, but if you're ignorant through I can't see, I can't hear, I don't want to know, then yeah, that absolutely becomes your fault. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, this technically takes us back to that conversation I had with my parents, in that it was like the ignorant things they said about queer people, bearing in mind they know full well that I'm not straight, but I think even now, even though I told them like 3 years ago that I wasn't straight when I hadn't nailed down the label yet, I think there's still an aspect of them that think it's just a phase, or, you know,
not a phase.
I'm traumatized from my terrible marriage, therefore I'm just pretending to be into ladies now. And it's like the stuff that they said was so ignorant, it really hurt me, to the point where I was just like, well, you will never accept me, and it's clear that that's just how you feel about it, you know. And it's rough. It's the la not listening thing.
Yeah.
Because they ask me questions, but they won't listen to the answer. Because I would give them answers, and they go, yeah, well, why is that then? Why is that a thing?
Maybe they don't like the answers. They ask again until they get one that they like.
And you feel like saying, Google exists if you want.
Yeah. It's funny. I think parents, obviously I don't know what I've never met your parents, Jen, but I feel like with my parents, they say things that are quite ignorant sometimes as well. And they're like children in how you need to address it. So, like, my mum has said some transphobic things before, genuinely out of ignorance, I think. And if you go, you're being transphobic, mum, you're doing this, then she gets very heckin' defensive, like a child.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember one day we were out and we're in Waterstones and we saw a human, and my mum clearly made some assumptions about this person. And I was like, well, actually, mum, if this person was trans, then we would do that, but we don't know, so we would have to ask for it, blah, blah. And we kind of had this really good discussion. And at the end of it, she was like, I didn't know that. Thanks very much.
Wow.
And then what did she watch recently? She watched something, because she was telling me about it. Oh, fucking hell, what was it? She watched, like, I don't know. There was some trans people in it, or maybe some non-binary people. I can't remember. But like afterwards, she kind of like discussed it with me, and she was like, "And I knew what you're talking about because we spoke about it."
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay, good." But she absolutely, being an older person, and my dad as well, absolutely have it in them to just be like, "Oh no, I've made a decision about this subgroup of people.
It's new. I don't understand it."
Yeah, so I'm going to put it down. And it's like, oh, geez, when do you become children again? Is it 60? Is that the cutoff? I think it's when you stop working. Do your parents work, Jen?
No.
Aha,
They have
this is
too
my
much
theory.
time on their hands.
This is my theory. Because they stop seeing lots of other people and talking to lots of different people, and suddenly their world gets so much smaller.
That's really true.
That's my theory.
Do you know what? You might have a point, because they literally only see each other.
Mm-hmm.
And me, who they don't believe is queer, so that's a thing. But like they were saying such offensive stuff, like really offensive, like talking genitals about trans people and stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, why are you asking this question? I was like, if would you look at someone that you thought was cis and ask about their genitals?
Yeah,
because you absolutely wouldn't. So what the fuck? Why do you care?
Want to know about my genitals, mum?
Yeah.
You got to fucking ask about that.
Let me tell you about my genitals.
Do you know what I mean? No, you're not. You're not going to ask that because you're not fucking rude. Why is it cool to be rude? Ugh, anyway.
Parents, indeed. I think what made me sad is I just thought, well, if the next partner I bring home to you is a woman, non-binary or trans in any way, it feels like you're just going to immediately be a dick to them, and I don't think I could have coped with it.
Do you think they would? Because I sometimes think with parents they talk a good game, and then this is almost as frustrating or more frustrating sometimes when you have, when they meet people in life, they're so nice to them, and then it's when you go home they go, do you want to tell me about that person? And you're like, and it's almost worse because it's like, well, I'm not going to say it is worse, but it's like, it's just really frustrating because you're like, so were you just being fake that whole time? Like the whole time you were talking to that lovely person, were you in your head just going...
It's wild you say that, because I've got a friend that I've been friends with since I was 11 years old, right? We are still besties, even though she doesn't live anywhere near here anymore. But she turned out to be bisexual. Like one of those bisexuals. The entire time I was friends with her, my mother took a real dislike to her. Like she used to go, it used to be like a she's leading you astray type thing. But at the time I didn't realise that's what was happening. And I realised later that it's like, oh, you think she's going to turn me into one of those gays? Well, unlucky.
Happened anyway, Mom.
Sorry, just because I hid it in a closet for 30 years didn't make it any less true.
Yep. It's your fault, Mother. I got it in the water. Yeah. It was in the baby bells that you gave me. Do you know what I mean?
I saw a really interesting YouTube video some time back, which is worth looking up because it's about men rather than women. But there's a guy that did a TED Talk, and it was all about the research that had gone into why like gay children are born. And there's some fairly compelling research to suggest it happens more the more children you have. So the younger ones tend to be gayer. Yeah.
The straightness runs out.
They run out.
Like a printer running out of ink. I am the fourth daughter.
Well, there we go.
Just saying,
I'm the youngest. I'm just saying it's panning out so far, even though it's not a dude. So there was that aspect of it. But there's also, because apparently it's to do with gay men in particular serve this kind of role of like more nurturing. So it's a bit like he compared it to being like worker ants, where every so often, if there is an attack against an ant hive, instead of pumping out workers, it'll pump out warrior ants just to deal with that threat. And they were basically saying that there's some aspect to if the mother is going through a trauma, it's quite possible that she will have a gay son because she needs the slightly more nurturing boy rather than the big, aggressive, angry boy. So, like in this case of this guy that's giving the talk, they said, she had this incredibly traumatic birth. Everything was going wrong. They thought they were going to lose him at one point and this, that and the other. And he has turned out to be gay. And I was thinking, well, in my case, I know that my mother had an absolute traumatic time with my sister. So I wonder if when they finally had another one, their body was like, nah, let's just have the nice, gentle gay one, please. Thank you.
I would like a boy and a girl and a gay, please.
I would like one gay. Thank you very much. But it's beautiful, and it's like he backs it up with research and stuff, and they're still doing research into it, and he apologizes for the fact that it's men centered because everything is, as we know. But he was like, there's all this research they're doing into it, and it was proving like, that might well be a reasonable theory.
I mean, I'm interested. The gay men that I know personally, one is the youngest of two, and the other one are all the oldest.
Well, in this guy's case, the gay son was the oldest. He was the oldest of four.
Okay.
But he did say because of the traumatic thing, it's quite possible that trauma overrode the whole waiting a bit.
Okay. Yes. I mean, to be fair, I don't know all the gays. Just some of them.
I know every single gay that there is. How do you think I get so many guests?
Well, I've heard, but what a good. Mm-hmm.
I don't pay in money. That's all I'm saying. Sex joke.
Sex joke.
Sex joke. Oopsie. So tell me about, because I think this is a bugbear for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Gendered clothing, please, MJ.
Doesn't exist, Jen. Fuck it.
Can clothes have a gender?
No.
Women's clothes,
not alive.
Men's clothes.
And they don't have identities, do they?
They do not.
I hate it. I hate it so much, Jen. I hate everything about clothes. I hate clothes so much. And I hate buying clothes. I hate. I sometimes hate wearing clothes. I'm going to be real with you for a second. I'm not going to lie. I sometimes hate wearing them. I just hate. I just don't have time. It's so tiring. It's so tiring. Everything. There's some things I'm just like, are you not tired of having to adhere to this? And like women's sizes as well.
Oh, mate.
Like,
what the fuck are women's sizes?
They're depressing. Like, I have so many clothes. Like, I don't buy a lot of clothes because I hate them. And
I hate clothes so much. I've left the closet.
Yeah, I've left the closet. Like, I just hate them. And like some of my clothes are like literally years and years and years and years and years old. Talking like,
same.
I have a jumper from 2009,
and
a skirt from 2010, and like they all still fit. But I have various clothes that are like between a size, I would say like an 8, which they don't really fit me now anymore. I'm not gonna lie, lockdown. But up into like if I want to buy a pair of jeans, I'm looking at like a 16 if I want to be comfy.
Yeah.
Or an 18 sometimes, even because I have a big belly. As the lady when I was collecting my Avon orders the other day was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No, hen, just fat." It's been a lockdown.
I have a whole other issue with that, like, but carry on.
Yeah, sucks, man. Sucks. Like, and I went into a clothing shop, and like, I am in no way, or at least I hope I'm not. Oh, I better not say I'm in no way because maybe I am. I hope I'm not fat phobic in any way. But like, I literally went to get some jeans, and they didn't have my size on the rails. Like, they didn't have them in the shop. I was too big. Now, gang, I'm
fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean?
Jesus.
I am literally the average size for the whole of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
The average size. and I'm too big to shop in Monkey. I'm just going to name them.
Name and shame.
You know what I mean? I'm just going to name and shame them. I was honestly, I was like, I'm literally... And then gendered clothing, fuck off. Like, I like to wear suits. If I could fucking get a suit that would fit my body, then I would wear one. And do you know what I love? Do you know what I love just now, Jen? I'm obsessed with TikTok.
Okay.
Everybody is. Have we discussed this? Yeah, I'm really obsessed with TikTok. There are so many beautiful straight and bisexual cis boys discovering suspenders and French maid outfits on TikTok.
What?
I love it, and they're obsessed with it, and they know that girls like it, and now they're like putting together like all these little like videos, like being all coy in their French maid. I'm going to send you some. I'm going to send you so many. Like in their little French maid outfits with their suspenders, but they've got beards. All of a sudden they're like, I've just like, why have I not been wearing dresses my whole life? Like they're like, I put it on for a joke and now I feel banging. And I'm just like,
I saw the guy that tried on a dress and he was like, I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be for a meme, but I look really heckin' cute. And it was like, oh my God, you look amazing. I didn't know they were doing suspenders and maids outfits.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll send you some links. I'm going to send you some links. It's very wholesome. Very, very wholesome.
Allow me to tell you two things that happened that gave me an epiphany about gendered clothing, right? Yep. The first is this is going to sound weird and I am sorry, but they have been through the wash, so it's fine. My dad got rid of a whole bunch of boxer briefs.
Right.
Boxer briefs, turns out, comfy as shit, so that I almost exclusively wear boxer briefs now instead of women's knickers, because who's got time for that, right? The second epiphany that I had is I was looking for jeans and I thought, I'm sick to death of trying to find jeans because I've tried so many jeans and the sizes are all over the place. You've got no idea what size you are. Depends what shop you're in. Depends what the day is like. So I went into a Tesco and I looked at the men's jeans and it had a waist size. I know what my waist size is. And it had a leg length. I know what my leg length is. Went into the shop, into the dressing room, and I put them on. And I put my phone into my pocket. And no word of a lie, my phone dropped all the way to the bottom. And I was like, I literally out loud went, oh God, yes. My old jeans, the jeans I was replacing, because the iPhone had gotten so big, it was literally poking out the pocket. I couldn't just have it in my pocket anymore. And I tried these on and I had so much space. I was like, I could put a fucking wallet in this, lads. What? Where have these been all my life? So men's jeans.
A whole wallet.
A whole wallet and a phone.
Oh my word. Oh
what the fuck?
Word.
So fuck your women's jeans. I will never touch women's jeans again, I don't think. They're pointless. I don't understand their point.
This is where I've been going wrong. Clearly, I need to stop buying women's jeans.
Oh, please. Just go into a shop and try some men's jeans on. I promise they will change your fucking life.
Are they cheaper as well? I feel like
pretty much, yeah. They're not designer or anything. They were just. I think these were like 20 quid. I was like, oh, okay.
I love it.
Turns out this is what I've been waiting.
This is what I've been. And also, can we talk about? I'm sorry. I hope this isn't TMI.
Oh, okay.
It might be, but I have to keep it real, Jen. I'm sorry. The thing with pants these days, right?
Yeah.
Is like sometimes you get them and you think, who's fucking, to quote TikTok, coochie meow meow is fitting in these fucking pants? Do you know what I mean? Like literally, the bit is this big, and I'm like, gang, what's that covering? It's nothing important. It's not covering the important bits.
That's gonna give you thrush in it. That's all I'm saying.
Why? Why? It's gonna be a wee infection there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's but there's a lot of that goes on.
This is why I've switched to boxer briefs. Less chance of thrush.
Yeah. I love that for us. And like, yeah, I feel like there was a thing that advertised to be on Instagram or something, and I think it was like pants that had been designed by drag queens or something like that.
Okay.
And everyone was like, you should be buying these, basically. Like, this is the thing, because this will fit you. This will fit your vagina. You know what I mean? They'll get it all in there.
I do love a drag queen.
I have never seen Drag Race.
MJ, what?
What? So sorry.
What? Okay, we're going to talk about that. But before we do, while we're still on clothing, I just want to also touch on those clothes for fucking kids where they've got fucking slogans on them. And it's things like, Daddy's little princess. And, you know, don't come near her till she's 23, I've got a gun. All of this kind of shit. And I just feel like it makes me so upset. Because I went in there not so long ago, pre-pandemic. I was in there and it was like there was a blue t-shirt for boys, because it has to be for boys. It was like, Daddy's superhero. And then there was the pink alternative, which was Mummy's princess. And I just thought...
Mummy's princess.
He can be the princess if he wants to be, and she can be a superhero. Stop being a prick.
Yeah. I want to know how many people actually buy these. Like,
oh, mate, I think it's more than we'd hope. I think it's more than we'd hope.
I'm not going to lie. I would definitely wear a t-shirt that said Daddy's Little Princess, but that's just for like...
But you're an adult. That's what I mean. I think that's the difference. Yeah. If you're a kid, you are enforcing gender shit on children.
Yes. I mean, that's not chill. That was just my own kink self being with that. But I think as well, like, it's just terribly dull. Do you know what I mean? It's terribly dull. And... Surely people don't buy them still. I mean, I say this being child free, and most of my friends being child free. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really around a lot of children. And obviously, husband's a teacher, but they wear uniforms, you know, and not, you know,
not Daddy's little princess,
not Daddy's little princess outfits. But I'm just like, did I have any? I don't think I did. I was upset. I don't think I would have worn one. I never once dressed up as a princess. I was always Milan. Supergirl, to be fair, was probably the most princessy I came. Milan, Xena, Buffy. Like, I was obsessed with all these things. I never really watched Cinderella or any of these ones, so I don't know. I was described at the time as a tomboy. That's how I was described.
Yeah, same.
So I was always climbing trees and getting scraped knees and all that.
I do know that I once threatened to buy one of my nephews a pink toy and was told under no uncertain terms that that's not a thing that you can do because he's a boy, so we can't have a pink teddy.
You might catch the game.
Might catch the gay. And it was like, yeah, you know, colours don't have a gender, right? Because they're fucking colours.
Imagine just seeing in that sort of very binary way. I mean, I guess maybe for some, I'm not trying to see the good in it, but I'm trying to see the appeal, if that makes sense. Like maybe it's comforting to know that people have boxes. Maybe I wonder if an aspect of it is because all babies look the fucking same. We know this. You cannot tell the gender of a baby at looking at them. And I wonder if they're just so obsessed with their child not being misgendered, which is ironic, that they dress them up in their assigned colour so everybody can look and go, oh, look, it's a pretty little girl or whatever. Whereas it's like, okay, but maybe they're not. You don't know yet. It's too early. But also just like, what a nice baby. Like, what...
I said, I'm so not maternal at all, but I said if I ever have children, I am exclusively dressing it in neutral colours. Because it's none of your fucking business what gender my baby is. Thank you.
Yellow, green, purple. Do you know what I mean? Just anything that's not pink or blue. I don't know. My mum still does it. You know, my mum's a good knitter. She loves to knit. And whenever there's a baby, no matter how tenuous the link to our family is, whenever there's a baby, my mum is always knitting a little blanket. And she will say, do they know if it's a boy or a girl? But she also just says lots of yellow ones as a backup. And I'm like, Mum, why don't you just only knit the yellow ones?
Yeah.
And I think for her being a mum, there's a lot of joy in doing the different colours and doing the pink ones and doing the blue ones.
Yeah. And it's like fucking gender reveal party, isn't it?
Yeah.
They like that. The old cis hets, they like a gender reveal party, despite how many people get killed.
Gender reveal parties might be the thing I would first put in room 101.
Yes, I agree.
Like, just right in there. Get in the bin. It's just a thing. And also, like, is this a thing, Jen? Like, when did... Maybe I'm wrong here. When did we start having baby showers in the UK? I thought that was an American thing. And now, like... baby showers is a thing and presents and all that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get you a present, but the baby's not been born yet. Like, what? Do you know what I
Baby
mean?
showers have been a while, because I definitely attended one, I think like at least probably 7 years ago, I think was the last time I went to one.
Okay.
But they've been a thing. Gender reveal is mental. Although I'll make one exception for gender reveal, and it's something that the person who did the first gender reveal, because they've said that they really regret making it a thing, because one of their children, I believe, is non-binary. So they were like, I really regret that it was like, hey, look, it's whatever. There is a type of gender reveal party that people have started doing, which is when somebody is trans, they come, or non-binary, they come out of the box with their gender, like as an adult. And it's like, do you know what? That I'm fucking down for. Those are the only acceptable gender reveal parties.
Oh, I kind of love that.
It's lush. And I've seen so many now, and honestly, they make me fucking sob.
I love that. Yeah, that's very sweet. Because do you know what you think? It's like, so there's a girl who I want to say is like my husband's dad's friend's daughter. There's some weird link, right? And she worked in this quite highfalutin office, right? And one day she went into the boss and she was like, hi, I would like I can't remember what it was. Imagine it was like 2 weeks paid leave off work. And the boss was like, no, why? And she's like, because that's what you give somebody when they're going to get married. And she's like, I'm never going to get married. I'm just not going to do it. Why shouldn't I get it? And they gave it.
Oh my God.
And she fucking, I don't know, like traveled the world or whatever it is. And it's kind of true. Like one of my sisters is asexual. And like, she's kind of said before, she's like, well, when you got married, you got some money. And when our other sister gets married, she's going to get money. How do I get the fucking money? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I get it. I get it. You're not any less of a daughter. You're not any less worthy of the money or worthy of things. It's just that you're not going to have a wedding. And I think my parents are going to give her it, and she's going to fucking go on holiday or get the garden done or something. I don't know.
God. I love your sister.
But yes, I kind of love that. Oh yeah, she's a good girl. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it was. Oh no, sorry. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm just reading husband's comment. It was his pal who got 6 months maternity leave because she was never going to have a baby. That was it.
Oh my God. Your friend got 6 months maternity leave.
Yeah, that was it. Sorry, I got the story mixed up, husband. I do apologize.
She said she wasn't going to have kids, and the boss was like, okay, sure. Maybe I should try that. Can I have 6 months maternity, please? Because I'm literally never having children, so...
Yeah, me too. I mean, if there was a self-employed equivalent, I'd be taking it. But I was lucky to get my SEISS. Do you know what I mean? So there's that. That'll be all I'm getting.
So tell me about what Twitch has done for you during the pandemic.
Oh, Jay!
Don't have to cry. Sorry.
It's been fucking lovely. It's been an opportunity to talk to people, which sounds really fucking basic, but it's true. The thing that I was really shocked about when I started watching Twitch and then also streaming on Twitch was, and I've said this to so many people and they've all agreed, not that you have to, is how genuinely social it feels. Even if you're streaming and talking to people, you just see text, right? Yeah. And if you're watching somebody, you see them, but they can't see you. And yet it does tend to always feel like you're having an actual conversation, more so than like whenever I was doing Zoom quizzes with all my pals, which I found really stressful and really tiring. I could only really Zoom quiz for about 2 hours at a time, but I could sit on Twitch for a whole day. Do you know what I mean? Weird that. I don't know why. So there's that. There's me as an actor. It's an opportunity to, I don't want to say perform. That's not what I do, but there's an opportunity to be creative and be silly and be just like have tons of energy in a way that would be very tiring if I was like this around husband all the time. It would be very tiring for husband to put up with. So I can get a lot of that kind of energy out on stream. And I've made so many nice, like so many genuine friends I care about that like when good things happen or bad things happen, that I sit and like I've never met them yet, I'll be thinking about them and I'll be going, I'm so fucking happy that happened for them, or I'm really quite worried about them.
Yeah.
And I think there's a wonderful thing on Twitch about, especially like, so I'm new to Twitch. Nobody knows any of my history, and so they don't have that baggage over you, or they don't compare you to, gosh, remember when you did that thing? Remember when you used to be like that?
Mm.
And I think that like there's been I was talking about this recently because I was working on developing a new play, which kind of some of it takes place in an online landscape, and they were talking about anxiety and mental health and stuff. And I was kind of saying I've met some people on Twitch who are clearly find it easier to talk to their online friends about certain things than they do their IRL friends and family. I kind of feel the same. I feel like if I had something I really wanted to discuss, or if there was something that was eating away at me, I think I probably might find it easier to talk to my online friends about it. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's an aspect of it, like you said, there's no baggage. So it's like, particularly in terms of the queerness aspect of it for me, like I've always dreamed with the LGBT plus tag on for a start. It's brought more queer people into my life. And there is also an aspect of like, when I started streaming, I still was really unsure of myself in terms of what the label was and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that there is just this entire group of people that were willing to accept you exactly as you are right now, it's irrelevant of anything that's happened previously. I think it's given me the opportunity to meet people that I genuinely consider like real friends. Like there are people I speak to every day. I've had Cal, Lou and Dibs in my house. Do you know what I mean? It's like, these are people that I met online through Twitch, and I genuinely consider them to be like such good friends, like better friends than people I've known for like 20 years, you know? They know more about me than people who've known me my whole life know. Yeah. I think it's really special. There's something about Twitch that it gives you that kind of connection with people, I think, that you don't get in other mediums.
I think so, because you already have something in common, right? From the get-go.
Yeah.
Whether that's through the tag or whether it's through the game that you're playing. I play a lot of games. Whether it's through the game that you're playing or whether it's through...
Does MJPlayGames play a lot of games?
Oh, she does. Yeah, she does. She plays a game. MJPlayGame. Like, you already have that thing in common. Like, so one of my mods, Wongo Bongo, I think literally came into like the first or second stream I ever did. And it was because I was playing Dark Souls. And so that just immediately is a connection that we have. It's something that we have in common. We both really, really like Dark Souls. And he obviously liked it to the point where he was willing to come into the stream of somebody who had no viewers, fucking didn't know a clue what they were doing, do you know what I mean? And start a conversation.
Yeah.
And so I think there is that, whereas in real life, a lot of the time when we meet new people, it's either through work. And so you have that in common, but a lot of people don't always like their jobs, do you know what I mean? So sometimes like, or it's really hard for adults sometimes to make new friends and meet people. And for it to feel, what's the word? Organic, to use a very theatre-y word.
Yeah. I think you're right there, because I mean, the work aspect of it, we normally meet our friends as adults through work. And to a degree, there might even be a fucking work mask that's on. In the days when we used to go into offices, like I wouldn't be like this in the office, but on stream, I am 100% just who I am as a person. And it hasn't frightened people off, it would appear.
Oh, teach me your ways.
I know, right? People come back for this shit. I'm just like, oh, okay.
That's it.
It makes you, it's for someone who struggled with a lot of self-esteem growing up. I think it's also been really important from that aspect, in that people give a shit enough about you that they come back and they check in and they make sure that you're okay, and you can just chat to people, and it's like, you are who you are and we're fine with you being that person.
Do you think you get, because I think you do. I was talking about this with husband recently for reasons that I'll not get into. Only because it would depress us all. About vibes online. So there was a thing, and I was talking to husband about it, and I was like, I feel like maybe if I analyze it deep down, maybe I had a vibe, but I didn't want to acknowledge it because I thought it was going to make me sort of, a bad person, like maybe I was judgy or something.
Yeah.
But then I started I was like, well, actually, no, because I get good vibes from people online all the time.
Mm.
In the way that if you meet somebody in real life, you know how sometimes you just know you just hit it off?
Yeah.
Sometimes, or I don't know why, but we don't necessarily hit it off. Like one of my really good friends, who we are really good friends, but me and her did not have a good vibe for like the first 2 weeks because I couldn't get her. We just, we were working on a show and I just didn't get her. And I feel like that it was an insecurity thing for me because she was very beautiful, very talented, and younger than me. Do you know what I mean? Fucking ticking all those boxes. And so I think it was kind of that. And then one day, one of the other actors literally said that classic thing to me. They turned around and they went, "You going to do that line like that?" Right?
Ooh.
And I went, "Oh, yeah, classic." Not necessarily in a really horrible way. It was just like, because when you kind of put that inflection on it, kind of sounds like that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, right, okay, yeah, I'll do that." And she just came up to me, and I remember, not in a patronising way at all. She just kind of like she's a very tactile person, so she just kind of took my hair. She was always playing with people's hair. She was kind of like running her fingers through my hair, and she just went, "Don't let him give you direction." And I was like, "Oh, it's just that you take no shit, and I'm always that person that puts a smile on things, and that's why I had it."
Okay.
But now I get you, and now we're like mega good pals. So I think like. So no, I'm not saying that necessarily to get a vibe, your vibes are always right. But I think online you definitely still get vibes from people. Like I get a good vibe from you, Jen.
Oh dear,
Do you know what I mean?
what's my vibe?
You get. Oh no, I just mean in terms of like the vibe check.
Vibe check.
Yeah, good vibe I get from you, and I don't remember the first time we met, but it was a good vibe I got the first time.
Oh, I got 100%. I got a good vibe from you from day one. I was like, I already like it. I think she's cool.
You see, like you do, even though it's online and you're not seeing them, and you're not smelling them, and you're not touching them, and you're not in the environment seeing how they're moving. I think you can still. And I think I'm going to try and trust that a little bit more.
I think you can get vibes from chat as well to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are people like husband doesn't stream, for example, and I knew very, very early on that I liked him as a person because there's something about the way that he writes that made me go, actually, you're pretty cool. You're very funny, and I think you're a really nice person. I consider people like, I think Teddy Surgery, A.Up Ryan are also two people that will type in such a way that you'll get a vibe off the way that they type and go, actually, you're brilliant. Please be around me more often.
Please, may I have a friendship?
Yes, please be my
friendship?
friend. I need better friends. Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny. Basically, trust ourselves more, Jen. We should be trusting ourselves more.
Trust the vibe, I think. I mean, I've said before that after my experiences with Idiot X, that, I put up a lot of walls for a long time, and the Twitch lot absolutely destroyed those walls by me going, oh, actually, you can trust people. You just have to watch how you feel about people. And it's like, I think the vibe thing is probably a really good way of looking at it, in that there have been people that have been here I've had amazing vibes about, and we're now really, really good friends. Some of them have been to my house. And then there are some people I've had a bit of a dodgy vibe about, and I will never have them in my house.
Yeah.
Trust yourself.
Yeah, don't have dodgy vibe people in your house, please.
No.
Please.
No, I don't think so.
Life's too short.
Life is too short. So, you've never seen Drag Race?
Okay, so
I'm not asking you to explain yourself. I'm stating a fact. You've never seen Drag Race, yes?
I have seen precisely one episode of Drag Race.
Which one?
And it was the first ever one.
Okay.
Which is why
with the season 1 filter where it's all blurry.
Yeah, the first ever one. And the person that goes home is the older drag queen who was like being a drag queen in the 80s during like the AIDS epidemic, and like during when, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to be gay now, but like, it was mega hard in the 80s. Yeah. And she was the first to go home because she wasn't as young or as cool or as skinny or as beautiful as the rest of the queens. And it just really depressed me. However, everyone is like, you need to start at season like 4 or 5 or something.
Great.
Everyone's
4 is an excellent place to start.
Yeah.
4 and 6 are probably my favourites, I would say.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you mean. I would also say that if you do go back to watch them from season 1 onwards, there's more problematic stuff that happens in there, which goes back to the whole thing about art from artist in terms of RuPaul, I think has made some progress in terms of the way that he talks and his beliefs in things. Because, for example, he used to say that you could only do drag basically if you were a cis man in a dress. To him, that was the only type of acceptable drag. And he doesn't say that anymore. But for a time, it was like, I think you're kind of screening out a lot of really talented queens with that opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's also what put me off, because I was just like, seems like, I love men. I do. I'm married to a man. But at the same time, sometimes they can be rather a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, especially if you're going to be so kind of not heteronormative, but so gender normative about it. And I remember hearing that about RuPaul, and I was just like, that just put me right off, because it's always seemed like this beautiful, inclusive, be your absolute true self. And I was like, oh, but not if you're this, not if you're that. Okay.
Yeah. Be your true self as long as you're a cis man in a dress.
Yeah.
Like,
I just thought it was, yeah. No, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think the thing that really made me laugh in terms of early on, in terms of diversity, one of their earliest, like, diverse queens was a straight man. They were like, oh, you're not gay. No, I've got a girlfriend. It was like, oh, this is new. This is new and different.
Oh, imagine.
How exotic.
Imagine a straight man.
A straight
Very
drag
exotic.
queen.
Oh.
Have you seen any, like, drag performances, like, live?
Yes. Yes. Darling, I'm in the theatre.
Exactly.
But, yeah, of course. Not like tons. I've got a couple of friends now who are in the drag scene, who I've made in lockdown, and I fucking can't wait until I'm out of lockdown. One of my friends is great pals with Lawrence Chaney, actually.
Lawrence
in the Glasgow
Chaney.
drag scene. Yeah, like besties with Lawrence Chaney. And I can't wait to get out and to go see more of it. And like, I like drag. Please don't think I'm not a fan. And I think that I actually have some like straight male friends who are really interested in drag and makeup and things like that as well, which I think is amazing. I'm like, explode it, fucking explode it, go do it. Do you know what I mean? It was just that kind of stuff put me off the show. And also, I feel like it was all of a sudden huge. It was like that way. Like, I've never watched Breaking Bad because it just felt like I'd missed the boat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. The upside on Drag Race is that there's no through storyline, really. So you can jump into any season and you're fine. As Dibble has said, the newest All-Stars season has 2 trans women competing.
Yes.
So they are better. Do you think you owe it to yourself to watch Lawrence Chaney's season now?
I mean, well, my good friend Diet Punk is my friend that I was talking about, who's in the scene and who's good pals with Lawrence Chaney and has just come in. So I feel like probably, yes, I should. But I'm just so excited for the after times. I want to do all the things.
Yeah.
I want to do all the things. I want to watch Drag Race, but I want to watch it with some friends who have seen it. And I want to have snacks as I do it.
I mean, we could do a Discord party. You know that, right? We'd have to wait for the pandemic to be over.
That's true.
Could all get together and watch Lawrence. Because Lawrence is so good in it. Like, I won't spoil it for you because I'm expecting you to eventually go back and watch it. But in season 6, there is a clear winner from the outset. And she was always going to win it. And she's amazing. And I love her. I felt the same way about her that I felt about Lawrence Chaney, in that Lawrence was so good from day one. You were just like, look, Lawrence has got to win it, or, bad things are going to happen.
See, I thought there was someone else that series. I remember everybody talking about on Twitter, because that's where I get all my news from. Is it, I want to say Bimini?
Yes, yeah, Bimini.
I feel like it felt like it was maybe quite close, but I say that having never seen it, and this is purely from Twitter reaction.
I think it was close, but it's one of those things where once you get, like, if the top 3 queens, especially if they were the caliber that they were that season, I think they're going to be fine. Like, Bimini's doing a bloody collab with Lucy and Yak dungarees at the moment. I keep seeing them all over Instagram.
Nice.
Just like posing in dungarees. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be fine.
Love that. I would like to do some work for that. I'll take some free dungarees. Thank you very much.
Before times, I don't know whether they'll survive after COVID or not, but there is a brilliant Cardiff drag bar called Minsky's, and every single time I went in there, I absolutely had just the best time because there's queens in there that are always there. They're brilliant. I always used to find it quite funny because if you went in the day, they used to serve food. And bear in mind what we've said about my parents this podcast, they used to go in there and go, oh, it's beautiful food in Minsky's. I love going in there. And I'm just like, it's a gay bar, right? Yeah, but you go in the day and there's no acts on or anything, and it's all fine. It's all like safe in the lunchtime, and then you go back in the evening, and it's just like pure chaos, and it's beautiful. But
Lord, save the cis hets. Save them.
I used to find it a little bit awkward. If I went for lunch with them in Minsky's, I was like, well, yes, the food is incredible, but I hope you realise that this is a gay bar and remains a gay bar, right?
Yeah.
Can we show the queens a bit of respect, please?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's another bar as well, which I won't name because I'm hoping to go back there after the thing is over. But there's a couple of really good like gay bars in Cardiff that do drag shows, and just every queen that's there you have such a good time. I remember I saw on one Pride there was a drag king that I follow them on Twitter. I think they're based in England somewhere. Langdon Hardon possibly something. I think it's something like that. It's definitely Langdon something. But he was performing at this stage show. And I was genuinely in love with him a little bit. I was just like, oh, if I wasn't a bit gay before, I definitely am now. Because they're incredible. I was just like, oh my God. Hello.
Can we go on a trip, please? When I come and visit you, can we go tour all these places?
Yes. That's if I haven't moved. Because I might be moving in like November.
That's exciting.
Are there drag bars in Scotland? Because I can come to you.
Yes. There is. Oh my gosh, what are they called? I've been in it. So there's a club called. I don't know if Diet Punk's listening. Diet Punk will know. There's a club called. Yes. Is it called? It's not AXM, is it? That does all the drag shows. There's a club, and then there's Polo and Dells have drag shows. Okay, so there's the Polo Lounge, the Polo Club, and there's Delmonica's. But I'm sure there's a nightclub as well. But Glasgow's got a pretty good, jumping gay scene, to be honest, especially down in the Merchant City.
Diet Punk says there's also 2 new queer venues opening, Slay and Bonjour. I'm already in Diet Punk. It sounds incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that. I'm right into that.
Minsky's closed before the pandemic. I had a feeling they might have done. I think I remember seeing their tweet about it. That's a shame. Minsky's was perfection, man. That's gutting.
There was when I was in college, we had to take a show down to Newcastle because my college was validated by not Newcastle Uni. Northumbria Uni, I think. So we took the show down there, and we ended up in this gay bar that had a drag queen running the DJ booth, and the drag queen was kind of classic, kind of standoffish drag queen, kind of like you're dancing. I can't do a Newcastle accent. Okay, I'm not even going to attempt it. But kind of like this kind of classic, very, very.
I've got a pal that lives in Newcastle. Why don't you give it a bash?
Bike a Grove, Bike a Grove,
Bike a Grove.
Yeah, be a cat, Bike a Grove. That's it. That's the extent of my Newcastle accent. But it was funny because we were all there, all of us. What was it called? Was it like Max's or something? I don't remember. Anyway, all of us were there. The whole acting class, the whole MT class. So it was fucking a nightmare. We were tearing the place up, and it was just nothing but wall to wall musical theatre hits, right? Everybody, there was a banister that everyone was dancing on like it was a pole, like it was mental. And at the end of the night, the drag queen was just like that. I just have to say to all of you lot, you have really touched me, and I've had a lovely evening. Thank you for coming and making me. And we were all like, yes, we got a wee bit in your armour. We just wired our way in there. All the Scottish fucking actors, we got in there. We got in.
I
loved
love
it.
that. That's so cute.
Yeah. It was a nonsense, an absolute nonsense. It was one of those great bars where they had just beautiful topless men going round delivering wee shots out of a wee gun on a backpack.
All right. Okay.
Do you remember that?
I do.
A thing. They'd wear a backpack and they were topless and just beautiful, and they'd be like, "We'll do like an apple sales for £5, please." And you'd be like, "Take 10. You're beautiful." Like,
take a tip. I'll just have one drink, thank you.
I'm a very poor student, but I will tip you, my lovely. Like.
Okay, so before we move on to your slay of the day, is there anything else that you would like to touch on that we haven't already? No is an acceptable answer if you don't want to.
I've had a lovely time talking with you, and thank you for inviting me on.
You're making it sound like we're never going to talk again.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'll say it now. I don't think so. I'm sorry. My brain's farting. Lovely, Jen. My brain's farting.
Okay, in that case then, please tell me who your slay of the day is.
My slay of the day are Pretty Preachers Club, who are a bit. No, I'm not gonna lie. There was a million people I could have picked. These lassies are amazing, though. But yeah, Pretty Preachers Club. So I did a panto in back when pantos were a thing in Christmas 2019, and the girl that played Jasmine started this band with her friend. It's just her. Just her name's Hannah, and her pal's called Martha. They're dead young. She's like 20. I think maybe like 20. She might be 23 now because it's been a while. But they're really young, and they just started making music like literally out of her garage in lockdown and recording it. And their music's fucking great. It's beautiful. How would I describe it? I'm not really a very music head person. Like I'm not really up on music. I would describe it as like almost you would listen to it and Life is Strange. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, there's a name for that because Cal taught it to me the other week and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, really?
Because it's really nice, just like gentle type music.
Beautiful
vibey
indie pop. Yeah, like vibey, beautiful indie pop is how I would describe it. And they're beautiful, and they just like literally make it out of I think like Hannah's garage, and they're doing really well. I think one of their newest songs is going to be like in an episode of Made in Chelsea or The Only Way is Essex or something, and they were really excited about it.
Oh my god.
And they're also just I've not met Martha, but I know Hannah pretty well because I did the panto with her, even though I've not seen her really well. They're just like the nicest, best girls. And like when I was doing the panto, Hannah was like I think 20 or something. I just never fucking met a 20-year-old lassie who was just as cool as she was. And I don't mean cool as in like cool. I mean cool as in genuinely just didn't give a fuck about any of the things that she was meant to give a fuck about. She was just so chill. And like she runs this page called what are they called again? They're called like the Thrifty Sisters.
Okay.
And like she doesn't buy any new clothes. Which is why I did this for a lot of last year. She's that much of an influencer. She gets all her clothes like secondhand or through swaps. She always looks dead cool, so she's not like buying new things or like fast fashion and things like that. Basically, very, very good girls. Really good, beautiful music. Doing it themselves. Trying their best. They're on Spotify, Pretty Preachers Club, and they're great.
Here's what I love about Slay of the Day is that I was kind of hoping this would happen when I introduced it, which was that it always introduces me to like maybe new queer artists and stuff that I haven't heard of. So like I was listening to them this afternoon because you sent me a Spotify list for them, and I was listening to them while I worked this afternoon, and it's just so nice and so just like in terms of just having it on in the background, it was so chill. And when you said that they record in their garage, I was like, it doesn't sound like they've recorded in their garage. It just sounds so professional.
It's professional, but it's got this lovely kind of, I don't want to say like rustic. I don't know if that's the right word, but like there's definitely quality that, and I mean this in a really good way, that sounds like they've done it themselves. It's not pure really overproduced or it sounds like how I feel like if you've heard their songs, that would be what they would sound like live. which I like.
Yeah.
I don't think you get a surprise going to see them live and going, oh, fuck, turns out.
It reminded me a bit of that vibe that, when like kids have bands when they were in school, maybe they don't do it so much anymore, but when we were kids and used to have kids that had bands used to play in their garage because it was less quiet for the adults and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like gave me that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It's Bill and Ted
Absolutely.
performing as Wild Stallions in their garage. That's what it is.
I loved Bill and Ted 3. Did you see it?
I have. I loved it.
I loved it. I didn't think the song at the end was as epic as it should have been, but apart from that, I loved it. It was the perfect coming out of lockdown movie.
It felt like they'd made a movie for fans. I felt like they'd kind of tried to wrap up stuff that they never wrapped up in the first two, and it was like passing on the baton type of stuff. I made the mistake of being a woman on the internet and announcing an opinion where I said, oh my god, I really loved it, blah blah blah, and I copied in the producers of the movie, and someone I know responded with, I hated it, didn't think much of it. And I was thinking, A, you didn't need to tell me that for a movie I've just told you I liked. B, the producers are copied in. Can we maybe just show the tiniest little bit of respect there? Just a tiny bit.
I wish you could delete things that are under your own tweets.
Mate, I've got an entire set piece about the time where someone tried to argue with me about whether Shaun of the Dead was a good movie, and they got Edgar Wright involved by being an idiot. I'm just saying, don't anger Edgar Wright fans. I was all right. I was on the right side of history. They loved me. I had a shitload of likes out of it.
Oh, I hate that. Just also, sometimes, if you have a really, if you hate something on the internet, do you have to tell someone?
You could just not say anything, couldn't you? That's my aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I watch a movie and think I hated every minute of that, I don't go on Twitter and go, that was fucking awful.
I did it once.
Did you copy in the producers of the movie, though? This is my question.
No, I certainly fucking did not. But it was Tenet, and
Oh, okay. I still haven't seen that because nobody seemed to like it. Well,
yes, because it's shit. But also, sorry if any of the producers of Tenet are in right
sorry,
now.
Tenet fans.
But the reason it annoyed me was because so much money had been spent on it.
Yeah.
And just as an actor that primarily does very small scale touring regional work, do you know what I mean? When you see a film like that that's got a budget of 300 million, I'm just like, do you know how many small scale rural touring shows you could have made? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know how many MJs you could have hired for that money?
I work for equity minimum, right? Or maybe just slightly above. I would take more though. But yeah, it's just it'd be great if I didn't have to work for fucking equity minimum. I'm not gonna lie, equity minimum has not gone up in years, but there you go. Oh, gosh.
Yes, that's a whole other issue, isn't it?
Wouldn't recommend Tenet, Jen. Wouldn't recommend.
I will
Tenet,
continue not watching Tenet. I promise you.
Thank you.
I will instead watch boys on TikTok trying on nurse outfits and things.
Remind me to send you those things.
Yeah, I 100% will. I'm going to be bugging you after this, going, please send me. So where can we find you on the internet, please, MJ?
Oh, well,
or anywhere else.
You can't find, well, not in real life. Don't do that. That would be weird. On the internet, yes. You can find me at MJPlayGames, not MJPlaysGames, because that would be a sensible username to have. But MJPlayGames on Twitch. That's where you can find me. I normally stream 3 or 4 days a week, and I normally play games and talk a lot of shite and do a lot of just chatting and sub rewards for the month. So this month, if you sub, I will read some of my new smutty book to you. I will replace all the things I can't say with your username, which has been fun.
Sounds
and
amazing.
Also, Jen, it really got away from me today. I'm not gonna lie. Today was the first day I did it, and it really just got away from me quite quickly. It got away. I'm also on Twitter at MJ_Deans if you want Marvel thirst traps and opinions on Marvel movies. And just me squeeing over various things. You don't really get a lot of intellectual content there, but you get a lot of I'm a good hype man. I hype things up. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to promote while you're here?
Myself, I'm an actor. If you need a actor for your project, give us a bell. No, I'm just kidding.
She is an excellent actor.
I would love to promote Jen.
Shut up. No, you.
If you've been here randomly and you haven't been following Jen, I urge you to smash that like button. Give 10 subs.
And if you're an audio podcast listener, please subscribe.
Yes, exactly. If you're listening to this on any of your podcast providers, subscribe. Please, Jen, please.
No, we can't do that anymore. Okay, no. MJ, thank you for joining me today. You have been an absolute delight and a ray of sunshine, as I fully expected you to be. And I will see you very, very soon.
You've been a delight. Thank you so much, you beautiful bean.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was my guest, the awesome MJ Play Games. Not MJ Plays Games. I know better for next time. You can catch her streaming, being very, very funny and entertaining over on twitch.tv/MJPlayGames. And also follow her on Twitter at twitter.com/MJ_Deans. I stand by what I said at the beginning. She's an absolute goddess. If there's anybody that you know in the LGBT plus community that you'd like to suggest as a guest, feel free to recommend them to me over on Twitter, which is Jenegade Mastery, because somebody stole Jenegade Master. I wouldn't mind, but it's not even used. Other than that, have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.